With co-parenting after a divorce, communication is vital for success. Communication with each other as well as communication with your child. But what if that communication with your child is suddenly cut off? Today, we are going to discuss how to handle a sudden communication rift between a co-parent and their child. Welcome to Miles Mason Family Law. Can my ex take my child's cell phone? With divorced parenting, giving your child a cell phone is the easiest way to ensure regular contact with both parents. But rarely does one parent's decision to confiscate it work out well. Here's the problem. The likelihood of litigation to enforce or modify custody orders increases when parent-child communication is obstructed, even if unintentional. Unilateral confiscation as a disciplinary measure could lead to a parenting disaster. This video will help you prepare for your child's cell phone use by including essential terms in your parenting plan. What if the other parent supplies a cell phone for your child's use during parenting time? Be smart. Resist the temptation to confiscate it, reconfigure it, disable it, or worse. Parent and child are entitled to their private communications without interference from the other parent. Phone interference includes refusing to answer, refusing to let the child or others answer, blocking the parent's calls, recording their conversations, and confiscating the child's cell phone. As for secrecy, don't give the child a secret cell phone to use from the other parent's home. Talk to your lawyer if you think this is necessary for a particular important reason. Having a mobile phone can help your child maintain regular communication with both of you. A word of caution. Putting a smartphone in the hands of a child with no agreed parenting plan terms regarding its use could interfere with co-parenting and the relationship each parent has with the child. Include cell phone terms in the parenting plan. No matter what your child's age at the time of divorce, create a plan for the child's cell phone use. You need rules and guidelines. Many situations can be addressed in advance. When does access to the phone and internet begin each day? When does it end at night? We're not saying a parent should never take away the child's cell phone during parenting time. Confiscation may be an appropriate punishment for bad behavior, depending on what happened. But it may be up to the parent with final decision-making authority. By agreeing in advance to clear rules of use and disciplinary measures for misuse, you can avoid involving the court in micromanaging parenting time. In Tennessee family law, each parent should promote a positive relationship between the child and the other parent. Both parents should have reasonable, daily phone access to the child. Parent-child communication should be frequent, open, and positive, at reasonable hours, at reasonable intervals, for reasonable duration. Parents should agree on a specified time for calls so the child can be made available to receive them. Otherwise, the child may call a parent whenever reasonable. All of this applies to cell phones too. Parents can do 3 things to reduce the risk of custody litigation over their child's cell phone. 1. Hold off providing a cell phone until after you've worked out an agreement. 2. Delay buying a mobile phone until you're certain the child is mature enough to handle the device responsibly. 3. And set clear boundaries from the very start. Everyone has to know the rules. Most children start using smartphones at an early age, so having a cell phone plan inside your parenting plan makes sense. Include disciplinary measures. Identify the behaviors during parenting time that will result in confiscation, restricted use, or terminated use. When hammering out the details, apply these best practices. Be specific. Use very specific wording to describe all telephone access. Insert additional terms detailing the child's cell phone use. Don't leave anything to chance. Include other electronic devices. Consider combining cell phone rules with rules for other electronic devices, such as an iPad, laptop, the internet, and social media. Focus on open communication. Having a cell phone allows the child to talk with the other parent anytime. Parents can encourage communication with extended family too. Set a responsible age. Decide how old, how mature the child should be to receive a mobile device. Carefully weigh the risk of your child being drawn into inappropriate, unsafe, unlawful behavior. Initially, limit calls to just the other parent. Plan to revisit the scope of use every year to discuss expanding functionality and usage. Make payment arrangements. Will costs be shared? Who will provide the first mobile device? What about replacements? Who will pay the monthly service plan? Although the standard of living before the divorce is a consideration, don't focus on providing the trendiest smartphone with all the bells and whistles. Describe decision-making authority over cell phone use. Will the primary residential parent have sole authority over the child's cell phone use? What about disciplining for misuse? Will parents have joint legal decision-making with shared authority to discipline for misuse? Describe enforcement measures. Everyone needs to be on the same page with this. Write down the rules using clear language. Include the consequences for violating each rule. Explain these rules to the child when old enough. Describe acceptable disciplinary actions. Stipulate whether cell phone confiscation as a disciplinary measure should ever occur. If so, then list all reasons for confiscation. For example, using the cell phone for bullying, sexting, or taking and sharing inappropriate images. Result: confiscation. Decide whether cell phone use may be restricted for other disciplinary reasons. For example, poor grades, staying out past curfew, abusing cell phone and internet use, or getting in trouble at school. Decide how parental disagreements over disciplinary actions will be resolved. Plan to discuss these and work toward effective ways to improve the child's behavior. Involving a mediator or child therapist can help parents reach agreement on appropriate disciplinary measures. Set penalty times for each infraction. Confiscation for 24 hours, a week, a month. Restrict calls to parents only until sanctions are lifted. Do not obstruct the other parent's access. Disciplinary measures cannot obstruct parental access, nor can they interfere with reasonable, regular, open communication between the other parent and child. Supervised cell phone use for a specific period is one alternative to confiscation, but the child must still be able to speak privately with the other parent, which means unfettered use of a landline or resident parent's smartphone. Notify the other parent. Decide how the other parent will be notified of the child's misuse or misbehavior. Call, text, or email. This should open a dialogue on what the next steps should be. If possible, notify the other parent before taking disciplinary action. Talk it over. Is confiscation truly warranted? Is a warning enough this time? Be realistic. Sometimes immediate temporary confiscation is necessary. In your parenting plan, be sure to establish detailed arrangements when providing your child with a mobile phone. This can avoid sustained conflict and litigation. And avoid attempts to micromanage your child's mobile phone by judicial order. Mason's big tip number 1. Always seriously consider enforcing the other parent's discipline even when you disagree with it. Consistency in parenting may be more important than perfect parenting. Mason's big tip number 2. If you want to place a parental monitoring app on your child's device, seriously consider discussing this with the other parent. Upon reaching an agreement, strongly consider making sure the other parent has equal access to the information retrieved, including login and password. A parent should not want to be accused of placing the monitoring app on the child's phone to secretly intercept and spy on communications between the child and the other parent. We hope this video has provided you with some common guidelines regarding child cell phone use in a post-divorce situation. To learn more, visit memphisdivorce.com, Tennessee's most comprehensive free online family law legal resource. memphisdivorce.com answers hundreds of frequently asked questions on divorce, custody, child support, and more, with videos. Download our free Tennessee Child Support Calculator app, available from iTunes and Google Play. Check out Miles Mason's author page on Amazon.com. He is the author of 3 books, including Tennessee parenting plans and child support worksheets with examples from real cases. Discover all you can learn with Miles Mason Family Law.